Hello, everyone, and happy long quarantine weekend. You know, it's quite interesting. Our ancestors fought on the Battle of Normandy to make the world a better place and served in World War II. Us, we're just sitting on our couches doing nothing. Feels like I've been preparing for this my entire life. And you know what's interesting? Usually on a week like this, I would be out at a comedy club and people would be laughing at me. People would be laughing with me. Yes, that's what I meant to say. And it's kind of interesting. Other days, I would be out at a strip club and people would be throwing dollar bills at me, going, "Take it off, take it off." But sometimes I'm wondering if I'm mishearing them and they're saying, "Put it back on, put it back on." I don't know, at the old folks' home, I never really understand what they're saying to me. Well, since we're all in self isolation and I can't be performing at the comedy clubs, I decided I would do a video and I'll start with everyone's favorite topic, me. Because everyone is entitled to my opinion. So, get to know me. My name is Rio, it's short for Severio. I'm a stand-up comedian. I do marketing for a living. I love drawing. And I am a citizen of both Canada and Italy. My name is Rio, and it's short for Severio, or I like to say a severe Rio. But since I'm not a severe Rio, I'm just a moderate Rio. I'm half Italian and half German. I am a libertarian and I'm agnostic, so I'm pretty much open-minded to many different ideas. And as you can clearly tell with my beautiful fashion sense, I'm obviously not gay because gay people have fashion sense. I'm bisexual, which means you get all the bad stuff with that without any of the good stuff. And no, I'm not patting myself on the back. I have Tourette syndrome, a mild degree of it. And you know what was interesting? I was first diagnosed with Tourette syndrome when I was around 12 or 13, and I used to make this weird sound. And when I couldn't make the sound, or when I tried to stop myself from making it, I would feel all bounded up inside. And I remember when I was at the doctor and he diagnosed me with Tourette syndrome, the only thing I could think of was all these crazy kids from Montel William who are jumping up or kissing the ground or making weird sounds. But apparently they had an extreme degree and I have a mild degree. Then I realized I had an excuse to call my teacher a slutty bitch every day. Sorry, it's my Tourette's, it's my Tourette's. And then it went away for 3 years. But then it went away with, there was no evidence it was there. But then it came back, and I used to make this sound. And I used to have a friend who would always go 60 minutes every time I did it. And I remember one teacher told me, try not to do it. And I'm like, really? Wow, I never thought of it that way. Have you told a blind person not to be blind or try to see? Have you told someone in a wheelchair, try and stand up? The logic just didn't make sense there. I had a mother who supported me, and I had a father who used to beat me. And then later on, once the ticking sound stopped, I started hitting myself on the back of the neck. And I can actually do it for a long period of time, even when I'm most stressed out. And as for my sexuality, I believe I was around 11 years old, and the doctor diagnosed me with chronic gay. Your son has the homosexuality disorder. He clearly caught it when he must have touched someone. Well, long story short is ever since I was a kid, I always knew I didn't belong with the other kids. I had better fashion sense than them. I was talented in so many ways, and I was surprised none of my other friends had the same fashion sense as me. And I remember looking at guys, and I remember thinking, wow, he is good looking. But for me, it was always like looking at a beautiful work of art or looking at someone's body, saying, wow, I want that body. And I remember in high school, I was dating this girl, and her last boyfriend left her to be with a guy. And she was upset with that. So we were dating, and then I discovered she was cheating on me with a girl, and she left me to be with a girl. Her name was Shay. And then I dated this other girl named Maria, and I left her to be with a guy. And then this is a true story, this isn't even a joke. I look at her Facebook page, and she got married to a girl. So it's almost like it is contagious. That story always blows my mind. And I even remember my first boy crush ever was David Bowie from the movie Labyrinth. But at the time, I couldn't put my finger on what I was feeling. And my first female crush was Rita Repulsa from Power Rangers. And it's quite interesting. And I became a comedian because I remember hearing a quote from Joan Rivers. She is my comedian hero. When I remember the quote from Joan Rivers, she always said, when we have a problem in life, we have to deal with it. You can get angry about your problems, you can cry about your problems, or you can laugh about your problems. But not dealing with your problems is not an answer. So I choose to laugh about my problems. And I always say, if you don't laugh at yourself, then I will. And I try never to feel sorry for myself. I used to, but then I remember I have a friend. Yes, shocking to believe, I do have friends. I have a friend who has schizophrenia, but she's a wonderful person. I have another friend, he's morbidly obese, but he's a very talented stand-up comedian. I have another friend who is deaf or hearing impaired, but he's a talented actor. And from there I learned that our disabilities or being gay, bi, being morbidly obese doesn't defy us. My sexuality represents this much of who I am. My Tourette's represents this much who I am. I am a comedian. That's what defies who I am. And your past does not dictate your future. What you believed in yesterday hasn't lost value on what you've learned today. It's time for us as a human race to grow and learn from experiences. And with labels, I think it's quite interesting how we live in a society where some people are trying to escape from labels, but then we create a bunch of new labels, like how there's more than two genders. And from here, I kind of agree with Paul Joseph Watson, how some people will say there's more than two genders. But at the same time, they will say labels are for cans, not for people. For me, a label is a thing, we do have them. Do not say you're against labels, but we have multiple labels. Some labels are more defined than other labels. I remember in high school, there would be the goth crowd, the punk rockers, the drama kids. Our teachers used to talk about how they used to be hippies. And we would have those emo kids who would say, I'm not emo, I don't like labels. And it's like, if you don't like labels, then why do you, if you don't want me to call you emo, why do you have an emo haircut? Kind of like that Johnny guy who's constantly mad at, oh, something, blah, their names escape me right now. It's like he says, I don't identify as emo, don't call me emo. Then why do you dress emo? So labels are with us, but they don't define who you are. As I like to believe, your experiences in life shape you, but your decisions in life define who you are. For me, I like to think there are two types of people in this world: fun, wonderful, and nice people, and boring and annoying people. That's how I defy other people. I want to be around fun people who are nice. I don't want to be around mean and boring people. So there really are two types of people in this world. And I won't lie, I have my share of sad stories. I was used as a punching bag by my old man. I have dyslexia as well. My Tourette's has been both a gift and a curse because no one wants to sit beside me on the train because they think I'm on crack. But I've never met a strong person with an easy past. And in my life, I've met a lot of interesting people. And I never thought I would be at this point in my life where I'm well-traveled, quite wealthy, well-educated. I read nonstop. I'm a talented artist because when I was 12, I thought I would always be just a mentally ill person. But now I identify as a mentally skilled person. And if I have to leave everyone with one lesson, don't let your past dictate who you are. I had a teacher who told me beating the odds only exist on TV, but I have beaten the odds multiple times. I have been told no about my dyslexia, my Tourette's. I have overcome odds. I've actually ran for office once. I ran in a marathon once. So don't let anyone give you limits. The guy who invented electricity was called too stupid to learn. And the more I get to meet people with disabilities, they seem to be stronger than people who don't have disabilities, because I'll say it again, I've never met a strong person with an easy past.